Hello, this is Lacie Evans, and we just talked about a bunch of stuff on Farm for Profit. Honestly, we got into obviously how I started on the internet and the cuddly cows and the cat that I wrapped to my chest, but we also talked about agriculture and the importance of talking about it and even some tattoos. So if you want to check that all out, you better listen.
Farm4Profit Podcast. Take a listen, have a blast. Farm4Profit Podcast. Learn about farming while having a laugh. Farm4Profit Podcast.
Well, welcome to the podcast, Lacy. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good now that I'm here on time. How about you guys?
Yeah, we've got to tell that story.
I told it on my podcast because I actually filmed because I was here anyway. So I was like, I'm just going to go ahead and film an episode for mine and have to put up. And I did have to tell them. I was like, yeah, I'm an idiot. And I don't know how time zones work, apparently, at least today.
I think this is awesome because I don't know if we would have had a guest that handled it any better than you did. Now, I know that you feel bad about it, but like that was so you. I believe the way that you handled this. So listeners, we're recording 3 episodes on the same day, and that's not a strange occurrence for us as we try to get together and do these all in one batch. And our first recording of the day, about 30 minutes into that, all of a sudden our last recording of the day pops in. And she's like, hey guys.
2 hours and 17 minutes early.
Hey, I knew I was early, but do you want me to like go on mute while you finish your interview? Oh, you're doing an interview. And she's excited. The energy's there. It's still here right now.
Yeah. Well, I just I put it on hold. I was like, all right, we'll open this back up in 2 hours and 17 minutes.
And then we gave her great compliments. We're like, we're looking forward to this because you got mic and you got headphones and you're in a good sound environment. And she goes, oh yeah, I love making sure, when I do other podcasts that I have this really good setup because I don't want to just be there with AirPods in.
And the guest has AirPods in.
And I just casually look over and lovely Eric is just rocking an AirPod. And I'm like, all right, so I'm really going to see myself out now.
Well, you'll laugh when we have Eric pop in about 20, 30 minutes on your show.
I think he should. That's honestly what I deserve because it was just so funny too because I was really confident too. Like I came in and I was like, oh, I'm right in there. I'm just a little early. It's fine. And then I'm like, I'm real early. I mean, I know I'm usually on time, but I'm not usually 2 hours and 17 minutes early to anything.
Okay. So we're in Iowa. Where are you? Ohio. Okay. So like Central Ohio, Eastern Ohio?
Southern.
Got it. What was that TV sitcom that has always ended their intro song with Ohio, Ohio, Ohio?
Oh, Drew Carey.
Yes.
What was that?
I'm going to have to look that up.
We're too young. We don't know.
You'd think a Ohio native would know that.
Just,
the song
honestly,
Cleveland Rocks.
Yes.
Is it the one with the lady with the crazy makeup and Drew Barrymore?
Yes,
no?
I think so. Yeah, his
I
secretary.
know. I vaguely know the show you're talking about. I do not know the name. Couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Well, I know Drew Carey was the...
Well, I think it's just called The Drew Carey Show.
It literally is called The Drew Carey Show.
Rachel, a second ago, we're too young. Also, Rachel comes in. Actually, I just Googled.
Yes.
Rachel, I thought you were going to be on mute.
I was, but I decided not to.
One massive problem inside of the ag industry today that a majority of people don't actually want to talk about is the simple fact that easy access to capital and financing drives dumb business decisions. Now, think about this. This is something we've dealt with over and over again inside a legacy farmer, working with hundreds of family farm operations over the past 5 years. The number one thing that has gotten these operations into trouble in that time frame was easy access to capital, cheap interest rates, and just the ability and opportunity to buy things that they don't necessarily need or that the operation can't financially support. And this is why they're coming into legacy farming, because we're helping them go from a place of chaos and disorganization when it comes to their operation financially, where they don't have the clarity in making any decisions, to a place of confidence and absolute clarity so we can simplify the big financial decisions so that we're no longer making these massive financial decisions based off of greed or easy access to capital. Everything is strategic, everything is sound, and everything is well thought through. So if you want to learn how we do that inside a legacy farmer, go to legacyfarmer.com and sign up for a free call with our team today.
Wouldn't it be funny if Eric popped back on, but he had a mic and
A full setup.
like he
Full
ran
setup.
across the street?
Does a better setup than mine and is like, yeah, I always like to come into a podcast fully prepared with better equipment. And I'm just like, okay, listen, I didn't mean it negatively. I just was like, because I have like questionable internet anyway, because I live in the middle of nowhere. So I'm like, if I'm going to give them me being like spotty sometimes, I might as well give them decent audio.
Well, honestly, when you were like, did the time change there for you? I thought maybe you were like in a different country or Canada or something.
I was in another place, but I don't know where, because I work with people in Oklahoma, so I'm very used to the Central versus Eastern. But for some reason today, I was discombobulated, and I was just dead set that 4 p.m. Central would be 3 p.m. Eastern. And that's where we got messed up today.
You were still 17 minutes earlier on top of that. Yeah,
I know. Well, because I am early to everything. Okay. I do aggressively. I'm always 15, 20 minutes early to anything. And the email did say to be 5 to 10 minutes early.
It does.
Audio
it
check.
does.
So
that's true. It does.
You are absolutely spot on, and we do appreciate that. But before we get in and learn more about what you're doing in Ohio, I want to let you know that my wife woke up excited this morning, and if that gets clipped like that, that's like awesome. But no, she woke up excited this morning. She goes, "Today you get to interview Lacy." And she never does that. So either this is going to be great or I'm never going to hear the end of it.
Oh, God. I feel like now I have pressure to impress the wife.
No,
I'm scared.
That was on me. You've got her hook, line, and sinker, plus over 700,000 other people on Instagram.
Holy cow.
Before we get into that, all right, tell us about little Lacy and then what Lacy grew up to be in Ohio.
So little Lacy, I've always grown up on a cattle farm. I showed cows my entire life. I absolutely love doing it. And as I got older, I was dead set on being a large animal vet. Went to college. I went to a local ag college. I got a degree in chemistry and a degree in animal science to try to take that to vet school. And then just a kind of life in a lot of different ways happened. So I worked other jobs. And then randomly, right before the pandemic, I decided to post a just silly video with my big white cow Snow. And now I'm here.
So what kind of cow herd are you guys running? It's obviously cow calf or...
So we have never really been like a full operation. We always just had cattle because me and my brother both enjoyed showing. And so we just had cattle for our own lives, like to have our own stock instead of buying show calves every year. Like I said, as I was growing up, when we showed, we raised cattle for that exact reason. We were breeding for show calves. So whatever ones I showed, cool. And then the other ones we would either sell as show calves or just sell at stockyards. And then in the last year, we ended up selling our bull because we've never really made more than we've spent on cows. It's always been more of a hobby just because me and my dad just genuinely enjoy having cattle. And then they started making me money in a very unconventional way a few years ago. So yeah, they're just lawn ornaments. I just really enjoy burning money on really large cows. That's pretty much it.
So how are you unconventionally making money off of your cows?
So internet, doing social media and content. The cows are obviously a huge aspect of my channel. And so indirectly, they do make me money by being the stars of my content, you know?
That's what I've got a Corey for.
There we go.
Corey's my cow.
I'm the cow.
The cash cow.
With me.
You're my cash cow.
It's not just pictures of the cows. It's videos that you are like full on cuddling with the cows, right?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. And I have like a very special connection with a lot of my cows in the sense that they were just ex-show heifers. So I don't know if either of you guys were like in the livestock world at all, but when you spend, 6-8 months with a show animal, you get close to them. And I always showed heifers because I've been a baby my whole life and I would get attached. So when I would try to sell steers, I could do it, but I hated it. So I just preferred market heifers breed stock heifers because then I got to bring them home. And so they're just my big babies. Like that's why Snow is so friendly because she was my last, before I aged out of 4-H, she was my last show heifer. And so I just spent so much time with her because I also did like winter circuit shows. So I just was constantly around her. And that's what made her so friendly. And that's why a lot of my girls are the way that they are. Like my most friendly cows are either ex-show heifers or bottle babies, because bottle babies, same thing. I just am always around them.
Yep. Yeah, they get pretty used to you. I remember my first couple of years of showing when I was in 4-H, and I never did the lead steer type shows. It was just the pens of cattle. But I had my first set, I could sit on every one of them.
Yep. Yeah. And people don't understand the biggest aspect of that is like, as long as they're chill, the weight difference is so different. They don't care. It's like if your dog laid on your back, you'd be like, okay, this is fine. Like everyone is so shocked. And I'm like, you guys know people ride horses, right? And horses weigh less than Snow. Like she doesn't care.
No, see, I grew up showing pigs and would get frustrated with them though, to where I felt like at the end of the fair, I was ready to see them get slaughtered. I wanted bacon.
Listen, I did have one feeder calf one year that was just an absolute psycho. I do not know why he had a vendetta against my father, but he did. And our intention was to take him to the fair, and he just acted a fool. And my dad's like, I'm not doing this. So my dad literally loaded him up and named him Steakette. And then 6 months later, he became Steakette.
Well, we should take the webcam and show you all of my trophies up on the shelf.
Ooh.
That we have from my 4-H days. Corey might have one. My banners and all of my...
All the trophies up there are cattle and pigs from me.
I don't think so, Tim.
I gave all my sports ones to the neighbor boy.
That's right.
Yeah. Lacy,
Tell
you
the whole
also
story. You can't just leave that.
I did it because he didn't have any trophies and he wanted a trophy so bad, and I didn't have any use for them. So I gave them to the neighbor boy and said, hey, you can have these. And every time I beat your dad in sports, because we were at rival schools growing up.
So his dad had no trophies to hand down, so Corey handed his trophies down to his buddy's kid.
Otherwise, they were going in the trash. So, yeah.
I mean, at least you found a use for them. That's better than nothing.
Yeah. So what is the dynamic of the farm? Did I miss that? How many head?
So just a couple of head left, right?
No, I have a lot more than people think, because I honestly have, I always joke that it's like the head stars and then supporting cast, because not all of my cows are as friendly as Snow. So we have 25 head. But I only really film with a few because they're the ones that are super friendly. The rest of them are chill. They're not scared of me or anything, but there's some that don't want pet, and so I just don't pet them.
So they're not real cows, they're actor cows.
They're actor cows.
Yeah.
So as you said that it was COVID or during COVID, right?
Right before, right before shutdown. Yeah.
Well, see, that's even more impressive, because I feel like there's a lot of accounts on social media that blew up during COVID. So this happened to you prior to the virus.
Yeah, it was right before the shutdown, the first video, because I at first didn't want to film animals, and that was never a direction I wanted to go, because PETA and the animal activists always horrify me, because it's just so much misinformation, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. But I just decided to make a silly video, and honestly, I thought only fellow animal people would get it, because I literally am just going, Snow, are you going to have your calf in the nice warm barn and not in the nasty muck of the field? And then I make her shake her head like she's agreeing. And so I was like, other farmers, ranchers will get this, but that's probably it. But I think that Snow is a beautiful cow. She's all white, but she's not a Charolais, so she has black features instead of that typical pink. And so between that and the fact that she was pregnant, people got really excited. I always compare it to, I don't know if you guys remember when April the giraffe was pregnant in 2016, but the internet freaked out and was so invested. That's kind of what happened with me, because people found out Snow was pregnant and were very invested in her pregnancy. So I had a lot of people wanting to follow along until she gave birth. And then I kind of developed my content from there. And then I decided that instead of being afraid of the backlash, I guess you could call it, from animal activists, I decided to try to educate on a different level, because I'm not conventional. I'm not a feedlot. I'm not a cow-calf operation, but I do have the knowledge and education of it. So it's kind of look at these cute fuzzy cows. Yeah, they're not meat, but let's talk about the meat industry, because it's actually not as bad as you think. That's kind of my plan now.
It's like that Eagle cam that we've got I think it's like by DeSoto, Iowa. There's a cam next to a nest, and the eagle always comes back and lays their eggs. You get to watch bald eagle
Oh, cool.
chicklets, hatchlings. What do you call a baby bald eagle? Chick?
Hatchling. I don't know.
Baby America.
Baby America. I mean,
let's keep it simple, right?
I'm going to say though, we know people love a good story, but boy, when you get a good story about an animal, something that you can follow. I mean, remember that it was a story that didn't end well. That cow on Twitter, Tanner. Do you remember that last year? That was so extremely pregnant.
Yep.
And it didn't even have a name. It was like calf like 289 or some people are going to just roast me for not knowing the number because that thing was like sacred. But yeah, I think she ended up passing because it was too big. But like they were watching that daily.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think the fact that it was right before shutdown was a lucky aspect for me because then people were turning to TikTok as honestly keep their sanity. So to have this positive, like, oh, I'm going to keep up with this big white cow and her pregnancy, and that's going to get me through this stupid pandemic. I also had my bottle baby Oswald at that time. And he was really freaking cute. So he also helped a lot. They were like the two main characters really that just kept the channel really going for people because everyone was invested in Snow's pregnancy. And then people are also like, who is this cute little guy, Oswald?
So what's the main platform? Is it Instagram or are you all over?
I'm everywhere. My first one was TikTok. I actually didn't start posting seriously on Instagram, like Reels, until 2020, beginning of 2023. I kept Instagram more as like pictures and stuff. And then I was like, why don't I try this reel thing? And then I started posting on Instagram. But TikTok was the first big platform for me.
2.5 million.
Yikes.
That's a ton. That's like Justin Danger Nunley type stuff.
I'm actually friends with him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast too.
He's been on the podcast
cool.
twice.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say we're like super tight. We're just mutuals on TikTok. Like it's not anything crazy. Yeah, like it's not like we're besties. We go way back. I also, that's an unhealthy thing I do is when I'm mutuals with someone, I'm like, yeah, that's my friend. And I'm like, well, no, actually, that's not how that works, Lacy. But okay.
We could be your friends.
Yeah.
Like I just
think
casually
after you talk to them on a podcast, then you can be friends.
Oh yeah. Like we had his first and second burner phone numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
But I don't think we have his latest.
Oh, I'm not that cool yet. I'm not that cool yet. I just have one phone. I've had the same phone number
12. Yeah.
Oh, I've had the same phone number since I was 12. If it ever gets leaked, I will have an existential crisis because I am emotionally attached to this phone number.
Is it like in a song? Easy to remember?
No, I just have had it since I was 12, and it's my phone number. I don't want to.
When did you get a phone?
I think when I was 14, when I was able to drive to school.
Yeah. Rachel, when did you get your first phone?
I think I was 16, maybe. I was a freshman in high school. Yeah.
Wow.
I was a freshman.
I was younger.
Did you?
But to be fair, it was because my parents left me at fair all day by myself. They dropped me off at 6 a.m. with my calves and be like, fend for yourself till 11 p.m. So they were like, we should probably give her a means of communication.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, it was the same thing. As soon as I got my school permit, it was just in case you go in the ditch.
Yeah.
But now I got an 8-year-old that asks for a phone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like,
that's got to be terrifying.
No.
Oh, my God.
See,
my cousin.
we had, like, iPods beforehand. Yeah. So, like, you didn't really need a phone because, like, on Wi-Fi, you could still connect with people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could,
so
like,
I think that's why I got mine later. What?
I'm, like, right in that age gap of, like I got a phone young, but it was a Nextel flip phone. So at any time, my dad could just go, Lacy, and a walkie-talkie me. I didn't get an iPhone until I could pay for it myself when I had a job. So I had like the regular type phone, and then I also carried around an iPod Touch everywhere because that was the internet, and then the thing was just a phone. We didn't have both yet because you could not touch the internet button on that phone. That was forbidden. That would cost money.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I went from the flip phone to a BlackBerry.
Oh yes.
To a Galaxy to an iPhone, and been an iPhone ever since. But now my daughters wear Gizmo watches, which I thought was going to be detrimental. But the Gizmo watch is like an Apple Watch without having to have a cell phone. You can call them on it. You can text them on it. You can track their location, which is creepy, but ultimately it's really handy. Like, hey, I'm going to be 10 minutes late picking you up from school, or I'm, whatever it is.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So Ava, she got a gizmo and she doesn't wear it because we restricted it too much. She thought she was going to be able to just talk to
Anybody.
all of her friends.
Talk to my
She was
going
going
to
to be tweeting on that thing.
Yeah. So, no, she didn't get that. Now it's lost. So we don't know where it's at.
You should be able to track it unless it is dead.
It's dead. It's been dead.
It's
been
for
dead
sure
for
dead.
a while. Pretty sure it's in the closet of doom. That needs to be gone through.
So, Lacy, you said you had to get your first job to pay for your iPhone.
Yes.
So what is your job now?
This, as crazy as that is, all my social media. And then I did start a business in 2020. I'm actually selling that one to my best friend, and I am currently building another one.
What business did you build and that you're selling?
So it was a product of the whole like, oh my God, you have followers now and they want merch, but I didn't want to just do merch and like slap my face on something. So I just built kind of like a small business. I don't really call it a boutique because it wasn't like a lot of clothes, which there's nothing wrong with the boutique, but it was a lot more novelty stuff. Like I have plushies of my cows. I take photos of them and sell like canvases of them. I did also have apparel and like a logo, some sticker designs, but I am selling that to my best friend because she was like my first employee, because I also did a trailer that I turned into a mobile shop, and she was kind of like my first employee, and she has a really great business mindset, and I just feel like as just a one-man show, it's going to be really stressful to try to keep them separate, especially with like tax purposes. So I was just like, hey, what if you take this one and then I keep this one, and then it's still the same vibe and I can help with anything, but then I don't have to try to keep this aggressively separate and stress myself out.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's cool that this is your job, because we think it's cool that this is our job.
I know. It's awesome. It's weird, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
So what are you mainly, so if it's your job, you got to make money from it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that coming from like views on YouTube, or is it like partnerships?
It's mostly views on all the platforms. So I make money from views on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and then YouTube. And then I do get an occasional partnership / brand deal, but I'm also, they don't like me. I don't know what it is. I will reach out to all kinds of brands and they're just like, absolutely not. And like, I get it. I'm opinionated and I have some fun hair, but I really don't get it also at the same time, because I have the prime market. My biggest demographic is 24 to 44-year-old women, which is like the consumer market.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have a hard time. Literally, if you want to like how bad it is, I tagged Bumble when I posted my video of how I met my boyfriend, and Bumble came into the comment section and was telling everyone else who met their significant other on Bumble to DM them, but didn't even talk to me. And I was just like, ow, okay, got it.
We have a lot to unpack out of what you just told us.
Yeah.
So let's start with your hair.
Yeah.
What? It's blue and purple?
100%. Mm-hmm.
Is that a representation? What?
No, I just like blue and purple. And I wanted to do something fun.
When did that start?
I had always I had done like some fun things before. My best friend is my hairdresser and she's very good at vivids. And that's like one of the things she loves doing. And in, I think April is when I first did it, something fun. I was just like, I'm tired of being just normal hair. I want to do something fun and I don't care to just absolutely destroy it. So I just kind of let her do whatever with colors that would not make me look bad. Because like me and Rich were talking before the show started, there's colors that complement your skin tone versus colors that don't. And I just thought it was fun. I'm lucky to where my boss is pretty cool with self-expression and doesn't care if I have a crap ton of tattoos and blue and purple hair. So I just did it. And I also think it's been like a statement. I have to go back to normal hair because I don't want to kill it all. But I think it's also kind of...
Aren't you your boss?
Yeah, I know. That's the joke.
Yeah.
I
like to do that all the time. I love to do that.
Yeah, her boss. Tanner, can I dye my hair purple?
No.
It's actually not my color.
Not your color. It's not your color.
my color palette.
Actually, purple is everyone's color. That is the best. That's the
light
safest
purple.
one.
I like the finger.
Oh, you got the the
I got
color
the
swatch.
See,
Right.
I'm not exactly sure what my colors are, so I wore all of them.
That's honestly a safe bet, you know?
Yeah.
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 I don't know which one, so I chose all.
How much? Like, how often do you have to upkeep it?
So, like I said, I am switching back to being boring. And no, I'm just kidding. It's not boring. I just need to go back so I don't like end up bald. But to keep it vibrant, I was doing it once a month. Not bleach every month, but she would just put the dye
Just
to keep
more
it like
color, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
bleach it every other time.
Yeah, Corey, what color are you going to dye yours?
I don't know. I got a good hair dye story one time though. Back in the day when highlights were cool.
Like a
Remember
frosted
that?
tips.
Like
The pic-
M&M. Yeah, frosty tips like M&M, and then like
Mhm.
he'd come and then it'd be all bleach, right? It wasn't just frosted tips anymore. And my cousin and I wanted to have M&M hair, and mom and his mom wouldn't let us. And so we got into my mom's cabinet in the bathroom that had her blonde hair dye in it, and we mixed her up, and it was orange, like fluorescent orange.
Something you
know?
forget when you don't know hair is you need a toner.
Yeah.
Or you need to have a stronger developer to really lift to the yellow white that you want.
And yes, the icing on the cake was we had family pictures the next day.
Oh,
Oh,
Jesus.
yes.
Sorry.
Just 2 carrot tops just in the photos.
See,
So-
I was the kid that had the frosted tips.
Yeah, I could see that.
Had to pull it. Had to pull it through the cap, the plastic cap.
Yep.
Oh boy.
You painted that crap on that you're talking about. Yeah.
Bleach. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see
That
that.
would
That
be
was
a
cool.
sight to see. That would be a sight to see. Did you
Just
have your
text
ear piercings then too?
No, I did not have my ears pierced in high school.
You really had to try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't cool enough, so that's how it worked out.
Oh, all right. Second thing out of your comments, you have a boyfriend.
I do. I have one of those.
Is he a main character in the content, or is he kind of behind the scenes?
He kind of became one because he lives with me now. I'm sounding like I don't like him. I do. It was like so negative at first. He actually is very supportive of it and thinks it's really cool. And so we actually do a little bit of content here and there. He likes to be in the videos. He does also work. Is my mom vacuuming right now? It is 6 p.m. mother, or well, almost 6 p.m. Is that loud? Do I need to go tell her to shut the heck up?
It's 4:35.
I can't hear it.
Okay, good. I can, and I just want to make sure this wasn't picking it up. Anyway, but yeah, he lives with me now, and so he definitely is a part of it. It's funny because everyone thought I was going to have this yeehaw country boy, and he is not. I found a white boy from Florida, so
Oh,
yeah, that's what he
Wow.
calls himself, not me. He moved up here and back home because he's originally from Ohio, and we met.
So he's not from Florida.
No, he was born in Ohio, lived there until he was like 15, and then moved to Florida, and then had just moved back up when we met.
I think that's still from Ohio.
So
Yes, she's saying like he's
He's
calls
from-
himself
yeah.
from Florida because
Yeah,
he
I
was
get it.
most recently in Florida,
Yes.
but yeah, he's still Ohio. I think he was actually born in West Virginia. So like, let's really dive into where we think he's from.
I do think
you
if he
met him
spent
on
from
Bumble.
15 to now, or
That's fair.
probably
Yeah.
mostly acts
just
like
challenging the
a
process.
Florida person.
Yeah.
But it was just funny because the first video I posted of him was just his backside, and he was wearing Crocs and socks. And everyone's like, "She got herself a country boy," and I'm like, "No, I did not."
It's not where I thought you were going to go with that when you said you posted a video of his backside.
Well, no, I didn't. No. Not his butt. He had his shorts on, fully clothed. Nothing weird.
So you never became a vet then?
Nope.
Is that right?
I did
That
not.
was the aspirations, but you just
That's what I thought. As I got older, I realized I wanted to really have animals more than I wanted to be a vet, because I interned a lot to kind of because not only is it good for your application to vet school to have that experience, but it's also just good to have it in general. And I realized that I would be working all the time because I would not be able to say no. There's no way in my core that I could just not be an emergency service and everything. And then when I graduated college, I actually was thinking more about just going to grad school. And then right when I graduated, my grandmother got really sick. And so I ended up actually taking care of her full time until she passed away. And she and I were really close. So that kind of like really put me in a weird place mentally for a couple years. And so I kind of just was working wherever, just kind of like to get by type of thing. I was in my early 20s. And then I was just working at a bank when I started making videos.
Wow. That's what Tanner did.
Yeah.
Was at a bank and just started making videos.
Just started making videos. Well, I do agree with your assumption, right, as to what it would be like to be a vet. I feel like I drive past 2 vet clinics on the way to the ethanol plant with loads of corn. And not that I'm a stalker, but I recognize the vehicles that are parked out front. And there's a vehicle there at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it's still there when I dump my last load when the ethanol plant closes. I mean, I feel like some of these rural vets are some of the hardest working people out there. Oh, my God.
The vet we use, I could not say more positive things about, but they work hard and they work a lot. They have an emergency service constantly. It's 24/7, 365. I'm very grateful for it because I've needed it before. But I've actually had conversations with that vet, and that when I was telling him, because I interned at his office and he always told me, like, if you do go to vet school, you have a job here. And when I got closer to it and was like kind of deciding against it, he was actually out here doing a call for us. I think we were just doing like regular yearly vaccinations. And my mom was like, yeah, I don't think she wants to go to vet school. And he was like, I don't blame her. And my mom was like, huh? He's like, listen, I love what I do, but to have $400,000 in debt and work your life away and not be able to have your own animals. He's like, that I don't blame her. He's like, I don't have time to have animals. I can't have my own. And I was like, see, Mom? Boom.
The last piece out of that little segment that you talked about is your own podcast.
I do have one.
Why don't you plug that and tell us a little bit about what it is?
Well, the name of it is inappropriate.
Far away.
It's Feral Cow Bitch. That's what I just randomly called myself that one time a couple years ago, and it has stuck. And honestly, it's just me yapping, really. That's all it is. And sometimes I'm really bad about taking unintentional breaks because I do try to run. There's no editing of like person. It's a one woman show. And so
no guests ever?
Oh, no. I just mean like, I don't have anybody like helping. Like I don't have I don't have any editing or anything, which like other people can do on their own. It's a lot. It's a lot sometimes. And unfortunately, my podcast is where that I end up lacking. But I do have a lot of fun doing it. I genuinely enjoy podcasting. I think it's so fun. And I love listening to podcasts. But I always like to be abundantly honest when I'm like, listen, you might go a month and be like, why hasn't this lady uploaded? And I'm like, well, my bad.
Yeah.
So do you interview guests on a frequent basis, or is it mostly solo shows?
No, it's been all solo so far. So I would love to have guests, but I also am just not tech savvy. And so this situation, it's probably not that hard. It's probably super easy, but like anxiety brain just makes me feel like, nope, difficult. Don't do it. Scared.
It's hard to be late or early to your own show.
Exactly. It is whenever I want. I'm not popping in on somebody else's show, you know?
Unless it's just one of the other voices. Like, this person wants to talk.
Well, I think we should volunteer Dave to be your first guest.
Oh, gosh.
Dave's our third co-host.
Okay.
And we'll volunteer to host it for you and send you the audio file. Rachel, why the face, Rachel?
I feel like we should just give them like no context. And just
my God. That's so great too, because I confuse the heck out of people because I look very different than what you would assume a lady who has cows. I just have a lot of very random facets about my personality and self. And so that would be really funny if you give him no context and then I just show up blue, purple hair covered in tattoos. Like, what's up? We're going to talk ag.
So go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, my favorite story to date was, I don't know. I know you guys had a lot of people that I also follow in the ag space. Do you know who Farm with Zoe is? Zoe Kent?
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have heard of her.
Okay. So her and I are both from Ohio. So we genuinely have been able to, like, we're actually friends, not just the mutual thing that I was talking about. And so she did this thing with Ohio State Fair where she did this charity steer show, and I helped her like learn how to show a cow. And so I went up to watch her during, and I just was in shorts and t-shirt, and I have obviously crazy colored hair. I do have a lot of tattoos. And so the team that was with her is a energy company. And the guy was like, so what kind of farming do you do? And I was like, I just have mainly hobby cows. I said, we really don't do anything with them. He's like, oh, like, that's really cool. We're starting to work with dairy operations with digesters. And I was like, oh, like biodigesters? And he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, that's cool. I actually did research on that in high school with, you know, the fact that it works like a ruminant system in a cow with anaerobic, and it releases all of that like free radical carbon, and then you're able to turn that into energy. And he looked at me like I had 3 heads because he was like, anytime I talk about those, no one ever knows anything. And I was like, well, you met a nerd who double majored in ag and chemistry. So biodigesters were like literally my Roman Empire in college.
Are you ready to power through your harvest? Meet the Maya Cornheads. They're designed for maximum efficiency and unmatched durability in the toughest of conditions.
With precision engineering and advanced features, Maya Cornheads ensures every kernel counts, giving you the performance and reliability that you need. Get more from your harvest with equipment built to last.
Reach out to your local Maya Cornheads dealer or visit mayacornheads.com to find your perfect match today. Maya Cornheads, harvest with confidence.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Dave's like a chameleon, so like I know he would do fine, but we do get a lot of entertainment of putting him in situations with absolutely no context.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious. I feel like that's some stuff I would do, because I'm the same way. I can get along with just about anybody and like fit in, but I also like, it's just, I don't know. I love messing with people in that sense, because his face made my entire week when he saw me just be like, who are you and what are you doing?
What is your background?
Yeah, he's like, what? How? Okay. Like, you know what? Heck yeah.
There you go.
So I should have told you in the beginning, but you were a listener suggestion.
Okay.
And it takes more than one listener for us to get a suggestion typically before we follow up and try to reach out and connect.
Yeah.
And obviously these listeners didn't have a super close connection because we had to DM you in order to get your attention, which I'm so fascinated that you responded.
They were probably friends.
Oh, they were probably friends.
Yeah. Me and all my close personal friends.
Yeah. Which I'm still fascinated that you responded and how quickly you did to your DMs. But
I'm chronically in my DMs. Unfortunately, I don't like the idea of there being notifications in there. So I'm always checking them to be able to just like clear them out. Yep. And I love podcasts in general and being able to make different kinds of connections. So pretty much when it's like, hey, do you want to do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, sure.
But I'm not gonna lie. Like not that we stereotype, but it's factual, right? And so we get these suggestions, and I try to look up a couple each week just to put things together. And I'm like, all right, I'll reach out. And I didn't go beyond your Instagram.
Yeah.
Like that's where I was at when I was, checking you out and figuring out what your story was, and it was fascinating. And then my wife filled me in on the rest of this. Like she knows your whole story, which is awesome, right? To have fans like that. They're friends. Yeah, you and my wife must be friends. Yep.
Yeah, we're close.
So it's neat to be able to meet you and have this connection, and you're real, right? Mm-hmm. And looks can be deceiving for the lack of it. It's dumb to even say that just because it's a hair color.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it doesn't bother me. Honestly, sometimes like I didn't get that vibe from you guys at all, but I have done a show or two out of spite because I had a situation where like a guy wanted to like try to sun me and acted like I wasn't going to know anything. And it was really, really rewarding for me, but also really funny because he even had to be like at the end. Because honestly, I think what would happen, he had a co-host that was female. I think she liked me and wanted me on the show. And he was just like this stupid lady with colored hair. And then before we started, he was like, this is a live Sirius XM show. So like no cussing. And I was like, I'm an adult. I can do that. And at the end, he was so shocked. Cause because I was like, yeah, like I have a degree in ag and a degree in chemistry. And he's like, what? Women can go to college? And I'm like, I know, it's crazy, brother. And it was so funny because at the end he was like, all right, well, that was really interesting. And he was like, you didn't cuss. I'm like, I know, it's crazy. I was like, isn't that insane that I can know my audience? And
I can have a tattoo and not cuss.
I cannot be a degenerate, even though I decided to make myself look kind of cool. Isn't that crazy?
Well, okay, when I saw your hair first was at FFA, like National
Yeah.
FFA convention, and because I've followed you for a while, like with the cow stuff. I just love that you cuddle your cows, and I want to cuddle my cows. They just hate me, so. But when I saw your hair, I was like, I swear this is that, like, this girl, like, and I was like trying to figure it out. I finally went to TikTok and realized that I hadn't seen your videos in a while. Like, they just hadn't been coming to my algorithm, and then I was like,
she colored her hair. Yeah. The FFA thing was
girl.
crazy. That was funny because, like, it's like these companies I feel like don't want to work with me because I'm a little bit more edgy out there. And then FFA was like, no, we're working with her. And I'm like,
I thought you
hell
did it.
yeah.
Yeah, I thought you did it for FFA because I was like, that's so fun for like all the kids and stuff. Like, I feel like you just probably stuck out more. And like,
It did. I did stick out. Like, I did stick out.
Yeah.
But I had it colored before.
Yeah, I think I can't wait for the recording to end because I've had a lot of ideas while we sit here.
Well, we're gonna dye your hair.
Yep.
Do it for the
You
like
got
on the
tattoos.
podcast.
Well, yeah, I do. I want to talk about tattoos. I want to talk about your tattoos. So,
Okay.
Oh, I thought
what's
you were talking about your own.
what did you say, Rachel?
I thought you were talking about your own tattoo.
No, I only have one. That's boring.
I know.
She said plural. I want to talk about her tattoos.
Okay.
My whole leg is done.
Whoa! I did not expect
And I have my
that.
whole arm done.
That was very flexible of you.
Thank you. I was a cheerleader.
I was a cheerleader too.
I know. I have so many facets. I've lived multiple lives.
I love that. All
All right,
okay,
that's
doing a tattoo tour now.
the
I know.
highlight.
Yeah, I have a lot.
Have you done a tattoo tour on your socials?
I did one on TikTok forever ago while I was doing my leg sleeve. I actually plan on doing a full one on YouTube here soon because I've been at a pause. It's been the longest time I've ever been without a new tattoo appointment because I finished my arm sleeve in February of this year.
What's the goal?
I don't honestly know.
Okay.
You know, I'm at a point where I'm kind of like, okay, like I like them and I really enjoy them. I don't think I'd ever be fully covered, but like, cause like I don't personally want like anything chest on me.
Sure.
Cause it's just a personal preference. My dad was like, hey, no face. And I was like, I can do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just think they're fun and I enjoy them. So I just,
So when you plan out a leg sleeve, like, is it the whole thing planned out from the beginning, or is it I got one and then I did a second and a third and then we did, or is it all planned out when you start?
So you can go either way. Mine, I knew I wanted a leg sleeve, but I spaced it out. It took like, I can't remember how many months, but almost like around 2 years to do from start to finish because I didn't want to do like all at once. But I have a actual friend who she went to Ireland to get hers done. And so she did her entire leg in like,
Wow.
she went twice. So she did half the leg. Oh, it was insane. She did 2 days back to back both times and got it fully done. And I'm like, girl, you're braver than I. Because like I said, mine, sometimes there would be a month between my appointments. But yeah, I just kind of knew pieces that I wanted. And I have a really incredible artist. And so we just kind of pieced it together as we went. So we didn't have a full vision.
How much to get the Farm4Profit logo tattooed?
Honestly, I'm at a reckless point with tattoos. So like if you had me a couple beers in, I'd probably just get it.
I told you when you beeped in, I said
to go drink some beers.
go have a beer, come back at 4.
And I did not have a beer.
We could sponsor it. We could have a brand partnership here.
Has not crossed my mind if that double negative works.
Not crossed my mind.
What was the first tattoo and when?
I was 19 and it was on my ribs. I have it covered.
Really?
I have very painful tattoos. And it's so funny because like people are always shocked. Like if you think anything is bad, I just want you to go get your knee pit tattooed. Do this.
Yeah, that's
I saw God. I saw God during that tattoo. Okay. It was so bad. But
How
yeah,
was the ribs?
The ribs wasn't bad. And I actually had to get it redone and covered up over scar tissue. And it wasn't that bad. But I'm also a thicker lady. So like that might have helped me a little bit. But yeah, my ribs wasn't that bad. And then I was kind of like slow with tattoos. I got one like maybe once a year. And then I decided on the leg sleeve. And then after the leg sleeve, I was like, well, now I have to do an arm sleeve. And now I've chilled out, you know.
What's a leg sleeve cost?
I didn't actually keep like track because it was over 2 years. If I had to guess with tip, I think I spent $10,000.
So hear me out on this. Like, this is something my dad and I, and this is probably my dad's gonna hate me for even saying this. Like, we love watching college basketball, and before NIL money, we were trying to figure out how these college athletes have all these tattoos, because
Right.
I went through college broke.
If I had
And I had a
$100
job.
in my account for the weekend on Friday, I was sitting good. Like, I knew I could
Go to the bar.
I could go to the bar and eat my ramen noodles and be good.
And these guys are, some of it's absolutely great artwork, but they are covered in tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're
they're not
paying
cheap.
for art. That's what you're literally paying for. So you have
It's
to
an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is an investment piece. I wonder if anybody's ever sold a skin graft of their tattooed art.
That's
weird.
That's borderline creepy, Rachel.
Yeah, I
That's
don't like that
weird.
idea.
just, like,
I'll be honest
You
with
know,
you.
like art dealings, like you're literally.
Could
that
you
is
imagine?
art.
I think I'll stick
I
with
actually
my
can't
watches.
imagine. That's some
I can
Dahmer
sell
stuff.
those.
I'm gonna. Oh,
I'm making sure I don't ever fall asleep around Rachel. She's gonna sell the skin graft of
I
my
was just
tattoo.
wondering. You know, like
What is your
people
one tattoo? Because I always love a story behind somebody having one.
So I also got mine when I was 19.
Okay.
And mine is my family crest. So Winterhoff is German. So we've got a family crest. So I've got
Okay, cool.
the 4 quadrants. It involves agriculture and religion and life and strength. So it's purely, the family crest says Winterhoff underneath. You get all the jokes about, in case you forget your name, I've got it tattooed on me. So if I can't be identified, at least they can start there.
Yeah. They
But
could
it's
be
on
like,
my
you know what?
shoulder.
Got it.
I've toyed around earlier with the idea of a rib tattoo just to like prove how tough of a person you are, but I still think it would really freaking hurt.
Well, you're a tiny little guy, so they'd probably poke right into your rib bone.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad. From like I was pretty chill, but I think I do honestly have a higher pain tolerance because all my tattoos I was pretty okay. But everybody's different because there's some people who it's just different. It's just different levels.
I want Corey to get a tattoo because he's virgin tattoo guy. His skin's unsoiled.
I just don't think I'd look good in one. I don't know. I don't see myself.
Here's the brand deal. We're gonna get Lacey's feral cow bitch logo
That's a detail. It's me in a cow suit. I hope you're ready for that, brother.
on my ass.
on you, and she's gonna get the Farm for Profit. She's gonna get our 3 faces.
Oh, 3. Damn. Okay.
Not
Where's
Our
that
logo,
going?
our podcast logo.
Dave, Tanner, and Corey's face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. That's 3.
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh,
on the bottom. You can't.
It's
She
in
ain't
a
gonna be able to see that.
circle.
I can see.
It's a cute
It-
little drawing.
Yeah, I can see it somewhat.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Well,
What do you got? Ask your question. I'll go short.
what is it?
Oh,
Guys, I did
don't-
look up the skin graft thing. That is a real story, but it's a horror story. So,
that's
you know why?
It's made up.
It's made up.
Okay, so with the title feral cow bitch, I like just saying this because William's gonna have to take care of it. Maybe. Do you like start with an E next to your name on the podcast platform for explicit?
Oh, every episode is explicit, regardless, because I do be cussing.
how do you decide what your podcast is going to be on?
A little
There you
bit
go.
of everything. Oh, okay, there we go. I like that it's giving me Mount Rushmore vibes, honestly.
Yes, very much. I
Yeah.
think that was their goal.
I like it very much. Nice. But hold on. I gotta think. You threw my ADHD brain. What was the
I
question?
asked how do you come up with your content? Like, do you think about, okay, today I'm going to talk about this, or do you just turn it on and I'm just start talking?
I usually try to have a few ideas of what I want to talk about. I like mine to be an interactive podcast, so I actually do have an email and I have people submit things sometimes because I like to just kind of like talk about anything. So I have nerded out and talked about some ag topics before, like hydroponics and then the biodigesters and stuff. But I also feel like way more than not, I'm just a chronically online girl that's yapping. I like to talk about stupid internet dramas because I like to have 2 cents because I like to like have an opinion, but I don't want to share it like on like TikTok or
Yeah.
Instagram. So I just talk with the girls on the podcast.
Devoted followers on Spotify.
And we just talk about things. So sometimes I'll update occasionally if there's like a random life things like on the farm or something. But a lot of times it's just when I was actively dating, there was a lot of reading men's dating profiles, and that was entertaining. I had one girl send me ones from New Zealand. New Zealand men, out of control. Out of control. I didn't know how bad it was until she sent me those.
Out of control, good or bad?
No. Like every single bio was like, if you're a single mom, don't freaking swipe on me. I don't want somebody's leftovers. I'm not kidding. I was like, oh my God. Like,
you're like, no, red flag.
And I live in rural Ohio, so I was like, we got some bad bios here. But no, New Zealand has it beat.
Which is basically like Australia, right?
I think it's like the island off of the coast. Yeah.
We've talked about and joked about off mic being like a little dating service amongst our listeners.
There you go. Honestly, you
at least have something in common, right? You listen to the podcast.
Yeah, exactly. To play a little bachelorette action.
Yeah.
Try to make some love connections. I like it.
A lot of trade shows. We can set up blind dates.
There you go.
Who did we have on Zach at Husker Harvest Days? I was trying to get DMs for him for sweet young ladies, but we
sweet young ladies.
Yeah.
What you need to do is every guest who's single, you need to just make them have like a 10-minute, 5-minute, maybe like little thing at the end that like talks about them, and then have people submit, and then you can go through the submissions, and then you guys set up the blind dates, and they don't know nothing. There you go. That's an idea.
Yeah, that's really fun. Like Farm for Profit dating show.
There you go.
This would be good.
I had the thought the other day. Have you ever been to Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've been there.
So I'd never been until the other day.
We know Dave goes.
Hobby Lobby, right? I had to go get some paint for something, like a special little paint. And I was like, oh, they'll have that. I go in there, and it's Christmas time, or almost close to Christmas, and there was a lot of young, good-looking ladies in there that were getting stuff for their artwork. And granted, I was in a college town, right?
The crafty ladies.
I was like, this would be a great place. And all my single friends, I'm going to send to Hobby Lobby now.
That's actually not a bad idea.
No.
It's like the old grocery store thing, but now everyone gets their groceries online.
Right. Send the single girls to Menards and the single men to Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Yeah.
Like
it's the Act Clueless and Lowe's. That was a thing.
Yeah. Or Home Depot.
But unfortunately, I grew up with a blue-collar father who wanted me to be his best son, so I know more in the Lowe's aisles than some of them.
So you know where to hold the flashlight?
Yeah, I do. That was traumatic. My dad pulled tractors, too, so it was like a whole other level.
Tractor pulling? Does he still?
Yeah, my dad's actually a really good tractor puller.
What?
Yeah.
Does he ever come to Iowa?
I don't think he's been that far. Well, I shouldn't say that far because he's gone to Florida. But yeah, he actually, do you guys, I'm sure you know it, but I don't know if you've been. Have you been to the National Farm Machinery Show in February in Louisville?
Yeah.
We go there every year almost.
We've interviewed multiple tractor pullers at the National Farm Machinery Show.
Okay, well, I go every year since I was like 9 and with my dad. And then he actually pulled twice there, but that was a while ago.
That's so fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 pages of the most detailed background of you, like CSI investigator outline. And there is nothing on here about your dad pulling tractors. So I don't know if it's true.
Well, I just didn't. I don't know. It's just like I don't know if my people who like watching like cows, because my demographic is so heavily female. So I just have not ever really been like, oh, let me throw up some. But I will say I had a ag friend from Canada come down. And as soon as she came, like got to my house, we drove to a tractor pull. And that's where I took her. And I was like, this is the most Ohio shit I can do for you.
Do you have figure 8 races?
I'm sure we do, but that's not my world.
That's pretty ag related. Like it's one of those things that is messed up. Like who would ever race in to where the cars have to cross in the middle of a track?
Demo derbies?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like who's
demo derbies?
Those are okay. Those are cool though. Like I like when the big stuff hits each other. The little cars, I'm like, okay,
get out of here.
Yeah. Let's bring some big things in here. Okay.
So are you going to National Farm Machinery Show this year?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, like I said, we go every year. It's a ritual. I remember all the boys at my school would be mad because my dad would get me out of school early so we could go to the tractor pull. And they would always just be like, we know where Lacey's going. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I'm going to go watch tractors.
So if you're going to that show, because we've only been twice, 2 or 3 times.
No, we've been 3 times.
3 times.
Twice.
But we're
and
always
once
there
without
working the
Dave.
trade show, and then we usually hit the tractor pull
Mhm.
one evening.
Okay.
If you're going there for the tractor pull, like, what does your day look like? Are you at the tractor pull all day?
So it depends. Sometimes, because Louisville is about a two and a half hour drive for us from the house. So if Dad wants to do the trade show first, we'll try to leave in the morning. Or sometimes we've stayed down there to do a couple days. But yeah, if we want to go to the tractor pull and the trade show, we'll leave early morning, go to the trade show, then go eat dinner, come back for the pool. Or if we're just going to the pool, we leave around like 2, grab dinner, come straight to the pool.
Okay. I didn't realize you were that close.
Well,
Yeah,
we're
it's
gonna
not too far.
We're going to be there.
Okay.
And
Heck
we're
yeah.
going to hang out.
Okay. I'm down. Do you guys what do you do at your setup at the trade show then? The last 2-3 years?
So last year we didn't go to National Farm Machinery Show because we went out to Tulare, California for the World Ag Expo.
Okay.
And that was a great experience. I recommend anybody that has the opportunity, the funding to go out and see alternative crop agriculture. That was super cool. But our audience revolves a lot here in the Midwest. Like there's
Yeah.
a vast majority, 60% plus right here. So the National Farm Machinery Show makes a lot more sense for our demographics. But we'll be there at least the first days. I don't know if we'll be there Saturday, but we'll probably be down there all week.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I usually try, I can't remember. I think it's Thursday night is the night that my dad likes the tractor pulls the most. Like he likes those classes the best.
Sure.
So we usually end up going then, or sometimes I convince him to go Friday night or Saturday night. So it just depends. But yeah, if I'm there the same time you guys are, we'll definitely have to be like, hello.
Yeah. If we're not working, we'll either probably be set up with John Deere or we'll be over at the Brandt booth. And then hopefully we have a little bit of free time to make it entertaining.
There you go.
What's your dad's
Stress more than front.
tractor?
What were you saying, Corey?
What's your dad's tractor and tractor pull? What's the name on it? That's the
So
big thing.
right now, he just recently switched over. He used to have a white 270 with a 5.9 Cummins in it. And that was his tractor. He sold that and then he bought a tractor from Canada, actually. It's an Alice Chalmers 190 XT. And he pulls in the light limited super stock. There we go. He used
And
to
it doesn't
pull,
have a name?
no, he is still trying to figure out what the heck he wants to call it, because it came like when he bought it, it had a logo called Mad Money, and he was gonna keep with that a little bit, and then he liked Angry Alice, and then he liked something else. So honestly, no, I don't think he has an actual name, which is sad. But he actually won his points division this past year. He was the overall champion.
So does that get him an invite to National Farm Machinery Show to pull?
National Farm Machinery Show doesn't have a class yet for him. They're hoping to build one, but they don't have one yet. When he went, he had a super farm called the One Nasty Cat. It was a Caterpillar engine, and that's what he pulled at the National Farm Machinery Show with.
Well, I'll talk to our buddy Ryan and see. Yeah, but I bet he knows him. He knows everybody.
My dad's
seems like.
name is Bob Evans, so it's an easy one to remember.
I feel like Ryan's told us about Bob. Do you know Ryan Rusing?
I might not, but Bob might. Ryan Rusing, you say?
Yeah, he's was part of the photography team. Can we say who he used to do it?
He'd rather you not.
Yeah,
Nah.
he's a photographer.
Okay,
We'll just
gotcha.
go with that.
He
It's
works
okay.
for Tractor Zoom.
Works for Tractor Zoom, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll ask my dad when I get down there and see if he knew of him. My dad knows like a lot of people in the tractor sphere. He always has friends everywhere he goes.
Bob Evans. Don't they have good breakfast?
I was thinking about that.
Yeah, he
So-
gets that a lot. Yeah, a lot.
I think you should call it the Alice Assassin.
Okay. I'll run that by him. See what he thinks. I don't know. Like I said,
That sounds like he's killing
indecisive.
Alice.
No, he's the Alice Assassin. The Alice is the assassin. So like he's killing all other tractors at the tractor pull.
Gotcha.
Alice Annihilator.
The Annihilator.
That's a mouthful.
I know. That one's not good. Not really rolling
And-
off the tongue there.
I would maybe struggle spelling that.
Yeah, same,
Assassin?
honestly. Well, and then he didn't know.
Annihilator. I was like, assassin's
I know there's
easy.
an H in there.
Assassin has the word ass in it twice. It's easy.
2 ass. There you go.
Double ass.
Yeah, a lot of interesting things for sure.
We have We have unpacked a lot more than. I mean, and I haven't even looked at the sheet. Where is the sheet? It's over here. What else is on here?
There's. I mean, honestly, the stuff that's on it is not nearly as exciting
do you think
about
TikTok's
the comments.
actually going to be banned?
I don't think so.
And if it does,
who's going to save it?
What is your plan?
Exactly what I already do. TikTok is my biggest platform, but the algorithm over there hates me for some reason, so it's usually the one I make the least money on. So I'll just do the same stuff I already do on the other platforms, because I'm very lucky to have built a good size on some other platforms. So
that is nice.
I'll just push that and keep
So
trucking.
if your demographic is 24 to 44-year-old women, our audience is not that.
Yeah. They're probably like, who
If
is
our-
this lady?
If our audience wants to find you, is it the same on every platform? Did you stay
Yes.
consistent?
Yes, I'm everywhere except Instagram, or I'm sorry, TikTok. I had to put an underscore afterwards, but everywhere I'm just Lacie Evans. Even if you look it up on Facebook and YouTube, that still comes up.
Oh, it's not Lacie Evans.
Nope. Common misconception, but my name is Lacie M. Evans.
I had to do it.
I know. I said it in the beginning, and I was like, yeah, he's pulling it. He's doing it.
I'm that clever.
He's just full
I made
circle.
Rachel laugh all last interview, so I truly am a funny person.
I don't know if I was laughing. You were asking uncomfortable questions, I felt like.
Ooh.
Yeah, how did we do,
calling you
Lacie?
out.
Did we ask you any uncomfortable questions?
No, I didn't get any uncomfortable questions, I don't think. But I wasn't here for the last interview, so, I can't speak on that.
Wait, you had dinner with Temple Grandin?
I did.
Wait, you did? Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with her.
Yeah, when I was in college, I did a research symposium for chemistry and ag, and the teachers got to pick one student from each class to go have dinner with Temple, because she was a keynote speaker at our college, and luckily my animal nutrition teacher picked me. So yeah, I sat right next to her
That's amazing.
at dinner. Yeah, it was really
That's
cool.
amazing.
Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Do you have a favorite sour drink?
No, they were all gross. That was recent too. Man, that was a recent one. Because I don't know. You guys don't know what Jungle Gyms is. Or do you? Do they have them out there?
No, we don't have a jungle gym, no.
Oh God, it's an experience. I take everybody. I've had a lot of different content creator friends come and visit me, and my friend jokes that I'm like a guy that just has one move, because I literally am like, you're going to Jungle Gyms.
What
That's
is
what I
Jungle
do with
Gyms?
every person.
What is it?
So Jungle Gyms is a grocery store, but it's not just a grocery store, because basically a guy named Jim had way too much money, and so he decided to make this world market. So it has authentic food from every single country, and you go down each aisle. So you start in Asia and you have Thailand, Japan, China, and you have foods that are authentic straight from those places, and it's every country.
But it's a grocery store.
But it's a grocery store. Yeah, they have the regular, what you would see in a Walmart, Kroger, all that in it as well. But then they also have a huge cheese selection. I'm talking it's the size of a small Kroger, just the cheese. And then they have a huge candy selection. So all the candies that you thought died from your childhood, they're not dead. They're at Jungle Gyms. You remember those
Candy
strawberry
cigarettes?
creams, the strawberry cream saver things that you can't find anywhere
Yes.
now? Jungle Gyms
remember
they have them by the just pallet. So
Yeah, I'll just
it's
went to
really
Jungle
cool.
Gyms.
Sounds
Yeah.
we have to
It's
go
an
to Jungle
experience.
Gyms.
It's weird to be I'm taking you to a grocery store. It doesn't sound that
Jungle Gyms.
exciting, but it is really cool. It's very cool because I wasn't sure, obviously, because I'm from America, Ohio, so I didn't know the authenticity of everything. But I had a friend who was a nanny for people who directly came from the Philippines, and she took some stuff back. She just grabbed random stuff from the Philippine aisle, and the mom was like, "Where did you get this?" And she's like, "Oh, this," she explained it. And she's like, "I have not been able to find this authentic stuff anywhere." And I'm like, who would have thought rural Ohio is out here just supplying authentic cuisine from all over?
So when you tried these sour drinks, because I didn't think that's what Jungle Gym, I thought Jungle
Sorry.
Gyms was going to be a place to go get all these sour drinks to try. And
They also do have this weird soda selection. So not only do they have a lot of different sodas that are more and they have a huge like wine and beer selection as well. You can get beer that's literally anywhere. They also have a bar so you can drink while you shop. But
we have to go to Jungle Gyms.
Have to.
it's insane. Like I tell, like it's a whole experience. If you come to Ohio, I will be your tour guide of Jungle Gyms. But yeah, there's this whole back wall where they have a lot of really cool sodas. Because like I had a friend from Maine that was like, "Hey, I thought this was only from Maine." But then there's a bunch of creepy flavors as well.
Okay, the one thing I wanted to cover while we were on here was that you carry your cat around.
I do. I carry my cat strapped to my chest like a newborn. Mm-hmm.
Okay, how does that work out for you? Like when you're doing chores and things like that?
She loves it. It started as a complete joke. It was just, I made a joke because she used to be a feral barn cat, and then I got really close to her. She had an injury, so I brought her in the house and realized she really liked being in here. So I was like, all right, you got me. And when she came in the house, she became very clingy, which was weird because she wasn't like that before. And so she liked being held. And so I made a video joking online. I was like, I need to get one of those newborn wraps and blah, blah, blah. Like just being an idiot. 2 days later, somebody sent it to my P.O. box. So I'm like, all right, well, now I'm going to try it. And she freaking loved it. And it's been our thing ever since. Like, I genuinely didn't think it was going to, like, you know, I was just a joke. It was just a stupid little hee. And she loves it.
I love it.
Genuinely.
I think it's it was so clever. Literally. I was like, this is the best thing ever. I almost bought one for my dog after I saw you do that. But
yeah. And it's opened a weird world where people have, like, a few companies have sent me, like, baby wearing products. And I'm like, this is for my cat.
Like, I don't know how it would work.
I'm like, all right, I'm down. I mean, not really what I thought I was going to be, the PR list I was going to get on, but here I am.
There you go.
Well, Lacy, this has been a pleasure of a conversation. We appreciate you responding to DMs. We appreciate the message that you have to be able to deliver to an audience that we can't reach. You know, that's a cool target to be able to tell people that, hey, we aren't bad people in agriculture, that we do take care of our animals.
Yeah, I think a lot of ag channels do a great job, but unfortunately only other ag people follow them at first because it just, like, I don't know why. Like, it's a lot of great stuff. And so my channel kind of breaks that weird barrier because people see my videos and they're like, what's this lady doing with her cows? And I'm like, well, let's talk about it.
I think the ag following ag, after you think about it a little bit, makes sense because we're pretty isolated.
Yes.
A lot of times, right? So like, I think it's just the first instinct is just to find a sense of community.
Oh,
but
absolutely.
The hardest thing is doing what you're doing and going beyond that.
Yeah.
And educating the consumer.
When I had a conversation on one show, I told the guy, and it really honestly is my outlook on it, is I think it's so hard to educate people on ag because we know how misconstrued it is and how bad the misinformation is. And so when it's first brought to our attention, like when I get people that comment like, oh, so you separate your babies and don't let them drink from their mother. And I'm sitting over here like, brother, I have beef cows. They get weaned. Like, what are you talking about? So at first, like that first initial is like anger and frustration. And then you just want to kind of write it off as like, well, you're just dumb. There's no teaching you. But you have to kind of take the aspect of like, okay, well, no, like, let's make this a teachable moment. Because I'll tell you, the coolest thing I've ever achieved from the internet is I was on Reddit and I had searched something. And when you search, like when I searched my name, there was a thread where somebody was asking about a farmer who had cows that were weaned and they were trying to figure out what it was. And one of the comments was like, well, I actually follow this girl on TikTok named Lacy. And she explained that calves need to be weaned around 6 to 8 months because they become too big for the mother. So it's actually beneficial because that's too big of a calf to be on a mom. It's depleting her resources and they're plenty big enough to be able to be on full pasture. And I was like, I'm teaching people. How cool is that? Like, I was really excited.
That is really cool.
It was such a simple thing, but it was like, I read that and I was like, wow, I did that. Cause I do make a lot of silly videos and I do cuss like a sailor. And so sometimes I think people might look at me as just a dumb girl just doing stuff. But at the end of the day, I do genuinely want to help change the industry and help educate people in agriculture. And so I feel like I do it. You just have to watch a few videos to really gather that, I guess.
I'm so glad that our listeners are fans of you, and I'm so glad that I thought the interview went really well. So
Yeah, no, I
hopefully my
agree.
wife thinks so too, right?
Yeah.
We did have to impress her, so hopefully she approves.
I don't know if she's that hard to impress. She married me.
Dang. That was a good one. Maybe
Single
you are funny.
tattoo.
That's what it
Yeah.
was. And that
Pierced
fancy,
his
that's a fancy ass
ears.
shirt. There it is.
So
Frosted tips.
We haven't told our listeners this. We haven't told our listeners this in a long time, but these are actually Australian shirts. They're from Trade Mutt. Trade Mutt is a men's mental health awareness organization, and the design. Does this one say it on the back, Corey?
Yes, it does. This is a conversation starter, it says.
So it's meant to allow people to approach you and ask you what your shirt's all about, and then you can flip up your pocket, and your pocket has a QR code underneath of it, which actually directs you to mental health resources. So if you want to have a deeper conversation, or you're battling, or you need support, or whatever it is, it's just meant to be something that nobody else is wearing. You don't expect anybody to have on, and you get to provide a potential opportunity to have a conversation and change somebody's life.
That's actually really cool. I like that
Yeah.
concept a lot.
Yeah, so we took this concept,
Mm-hmm.
cut off the charity part, and made our own designs to continue to build awareness.
Yeah.
And our Farm4Profit designs are funky in this sublimation type, and just a way to stick out and kind of keep that going on the U.S. side of things. But we love these shirts. We continue to promote what they've got going on. It's super cool. And we hope one day they come over here to the U.S. and make something happen here.
Yeah, that'd be dope. That's really cool. I do like it. I love a fun shirt, obviously. I'm not opposed to self-expression, that's for sure.
You know what we didn't do on the last show? Didn't have her do her intro or the recap.
Oh, we were trying it, but we can do it with her.
Okay.
Fine. Well, Lacy, this was, again, I think I've said it for the third time, a pleasure. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Yeah.
And enjoyed us probing you with some questions. If
you're
you ever
good.
want to launch into having a guest on your show, I think you'd probably get one of the three of us, maybe four, to volunteer as tribute. You probably want to pick Rachel, but ultimately, no. You've got a friend in Farm4Profit.
Heck yeah.
True friend. Real friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real friend.
Real friend.
Genuine connection here. Not just we follow each other. Yeah. We have.
Yeah, Rachel.
made
Hey, would you go follow her
communication.
everywhere to make sure that that's true?
Actually, I don't think I follow you guys. So like that was me being like, well, actually, I don't think. I think I DM'd him and then didn't follow him back. Look at me being a jerk.
No. That's good. Yes, we appreciate you very much, Corey. What do you tell the listeners?
Crack a cold one. You deserve it.